Another question. If the corporations are done, how do they still keep using the all caps names? Because people aren't filing their paperwork. People aren't following the rules of the common law. They're not reading their rules of procedure. They're not filing their paperwork objecting to the personal jurisdiction. They're not filing a motion to dismiss. They're not filing a brief memorandum of law with points of authority. They're not putting it in writing and filing it and demanding it, be in writing, response back in writing. And then at the end of the 21 days when they fail to respond, move for default judgment. That's why. And then again, this is the part where I try to say, I don't care what they say. I'm here to make my record. You need to learn how to do these documents, right? Notice of special appearance objecting to the personal jurisdiction. Motion to dismiss there's several different grounds. Start with insufficiency of service, insufficiency of process, failure to state a claim for which relief can be granted. Fraud. You got to read the rules of procedure. And they're right there. Okay, grounds for dismissal. Objections and defenses. Okay, when you do this paperwork, I don't care what they say. I don't care what they do. I'm here to catch the bad actors. I will afford them the opportunity to do the right thing. And when they don't, I just write their name down, who did what, where, and when. That goes in that formal written complaint as an independent action. It does not go in the same court, the de facto kangaroo court, that you've already afforded them the opportunity to do the right thing and they didn't. Stop trying to fight in that court. That's the de facto kangaroo court. That's the crime scene. But you still have, under sui juris, you have to perform your administrative duties. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. There is no way of getting around it. Okay? You've got to perform your administrative duties. No ifs, ands, or buts. You're not going to get anywhere if you don't. Okay? Then the independent action happens. You claim your right to a cause of action. You now become the moving party and go to a different action. Right? If they've made some orders there, then you're going to want to do a motion to vacate all orders for fraud. Right? That's an appeal. That can go under a writ of certiorari if you're after the time bar for an appeal. Writ of certiorari is a form of appeal after your time barred. Okay? And then you get into the lawsuit, right? That's the petition of grievances demanding relief. You got to have your formal written complaint in there. And in the treatise on arrest and false imprisonment, page 12 and page 13 lines out what a proper complaint looks like. It's in proper form. Okay? And that gets filed in the legislature. And then the legislature, you tell them, I'm demanding an investigation into this to verify my claims in the formal written complaint. Okay? Then that goes over where? To the executive to verify our claims. And they verify the claims in the complaint that we have listed in the proper format, proper form of a complaint. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then what happens there? It's got to go back over to the legislature with the report. And again, the example that I like to use is the Kavanaugh hearings. Miss Ford got to get up there in the Senate, right? And get to say her piece, and then they went, oh, all right, well, we'll investigate that and see. We'll see if we can verify your claims. You got 2 weeks to go verify Miss Ford's claims. They came back and said, no, we couldn't verify her claims.
Right.
Okay, so if you're full of shit, they're going to call you on it. But if you're not, and you have legitimate claims, they're going to verify your claims. Now, I'm tired of hearing the excuse of, well, my legislature's so corrupt. Yeah, I know. But that doesn't negate our administrative duties to perform here. Our rights dictate that we go do this at the state level, right? Because that's due process of law. And like Chris was told here, 2 years ago now at least, to start going through the state process so that we could itemize the bad actors in the state to remove them. Because when they don't do their job as you instruct them to do, you can appeal to the United States Congress, which would go to Lindsey Graham at this particular point as the head of the committee. These are standing committees while they're not in session. Okay?
Right.
There are still people there in these committees to take your redress of grievances.